Welcome to My Rotary Show. My name is Jamie Mick. I'm a past district governor for District 6950. And today we are going to highlight the Oldsmar Eastlake Rotary Club. And I have with me Hep, who is the president, and I have Brian, who is a long-standing charter member of the club, and Maria, who is a fairly new member of the club. And we're going to talk a little bit more about their club in this second segment. But first we wanted to talk about the 108th Rotary International Conference that's happening in Atlanta, Georgia, which we're all very excited about. Everybody in the district is really excited to be able to drive, fly, or go by bus. Either way, it's not too long of a trip. It's going to be June 10th through the 14th, 2014. One of the great things that they announced at President-elect training just this past weekend was that they're actually going to have a special commemorative fee for that, which is $265. Now, why do you say $265? It's normally roughly about $400 for a conference, but $26.50 is what actually started the Rotary Foundation. So for the first 10 days that registration is open, which is May 28th of this year until the 9th of June, which is actually Arch Klump's birthday, who was the founder of the Rotary Foundation. So you're able to register. So we encourage you to do that. After the 9th of June, the fee is going to bump up to about $375 per person. So it's a huge savings. The other great thing is that we've gotten a special concession in our district that we're going to be able to do our district conference immediately before the international conference. So that Thursday will be the awards banquet and the district conference, which will be on the Causeway, somewhere near the airport. We haven't quite figured that out yet. And then Friday, we will actually travel to Atlanta, and we will have a special reception Friday night for all of the folks from our district, and we'll close our actual district conference, and then the international conference and the ceremony of flags begins the next day. So right now we have a commitment from the president-elects this last weekend of 510 people, just Rotarians, not their spouses, that have obligated themselves to attend the conference. So we hope that we're going to have about 100 people. Now, the last time we were in Atlanta was in 1970. That was the last convention held in Atlanta. And Atlanta is pretty dressed up for us to come over. So the first video that we're going to show you is actually the video that Rotary International just released to PR the actual 2017 convention.
Our vision for the Rotary Foundation began 100 years ago. At Rotary's 1917 convention, President Arch Klump proposed an endowment for doing good in the world. His dream expanded the reach of Rotary far beyond the club. A contribution of $26.50 launched our foundation's endowment. A century later, we've spent more than $3 billion on humanitarian efforts worldwide.
Every Rotary project anywhere in the world always started out with one person who had an idea. And then they were able to grow and develop that idea by using that powerful network of Rotary to really change the world.
We are active. We are effective. We are really alive.
Our foundation has always been dedicated to improving lives. The first grant provided aid to disabled children. Today, we are on the verge of ending polio.
Et lorsque je vois une mère me sourire après avoir donné le vaccin à son enfant, cela comble ma journée de joie. Parce que j'ai la conviction que cet enfant ne sera jamais handicapé.
Well, without Rotary, this polio campaign wouldn't be anywhere. And the incredible effort that's been made from the very beginning is really unprecedented.
In the wake of a world war, we made a global impact by funding scholarships for international study. Today, we train the next generation of global peacemakers.
The Rotary Peace Fellowship takes people who have the desire to learn and gives them that opportunity.
Good intentions alone are not sufficient. This is one of the most important things an international organization like Rotary should do.
We all see this as a passion. We've got to do something for change. Not only for young people today, but of tomorrow.
Rotary is dedicated to personal and professional connections, so we created Group Study Exchange to build international understanding. Today, our foundation supports vocational training teams around the globe.
You turn the dial until this color matches this color.
The VTT program allows people to bring specific skills to improve another country.
Rotarians wanted to broaden their impact, so our foundation began funding their projects. A decade later, we began supporting larger projects to address health, hunger, and other humanitarian needs. Today's large-scale grants are measurable and sustainable. They allow us to tackle humanity's greatest challenges. "100 years ago, Arch Klump had a vision. His vision has become our legacy.
The Rotary Foundation is a great tool to transform the world.
That's what Rotary is all about. Vision to see, faith to believe, and courage to act.
The Rotary Foundation. We are doing good in the world. Let's continue for the next 100 years.
That always chokes me up. I have to tell you, I've watched that several times, and when that little baby cries and she hugs the baby, always chokes me up. But we were just talking about polio, and Hep, you had done some research about the polio vaccine and found out that it's actually reduced in cost?
Yes, I found that out from the World Health Organization website. Polio vaccine has been reduced from 48 cents down to 12 to 15 cents.
Wow.
Per vaccine now, yeah.
So that dollar donation that then with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's match turns into $3, services quite a few children and saves a lot of lives.
Exactly. So imagine $1 that they put into our collection box, how many lives that can save.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you folks do that at your club, if I remember correctly. You collect at the actual luncheon each time, don't you?
No, what we do is when we launch our campaign, it's a month-long campaign, and we brought in these boxes of crocuses.
Oh, that's right.
And then we would do a sign like this, and we place them at local businesses.
Ah, okay, okay.
Right. So that's how we collect them. We let them there for a month, and most of our local businesses, they agree to match at dollar to dollar.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. So at the end of the month, I go out there, they unseal it, they count the money, and then they match it.
Wow, yeah. That's awesome. That's an awesome thing. So how many of you have been to an international conference before? Brian, you've been to one, right?
I have.
Which one did you go to?
The 1987 conference in Munich, Germany.
Wow. What was that like?
It was like every place you went in downtown Munich, there were 27,000 Rotarians floating around.
Wow.
And it was really exciting.
Was it? And I bet, I've always heard, now I've been to two myself, but when you walk through the door, it really doesn't matter whether you speak English or another language, that everyone is a Rotarian and everyone just finds a way to communicate.
My horizons were just broadened overnight by just being there the first day. People from all over the world were there in their dress and their languages, and it was incredible. And the audience, had earpieces for different languages.
For the translations?
Yes, It was a marvelous experience.
And was there a particular speaker that you remember that was really moving for you?
Ted Turner was the keynote speaker for that year, and at that convention, it was announced that women would be welcome into Rotary.
Hey, yay! That was great. That was great. In fact, your club was the first club to elect a women president. Is that correct in our district?
That's correct. It goes in the story on that goes back a little bit earlier, that we chartered in 1986. And as the charter president, I was asked by Rotary International to take a straw poll on women in or women not in. Mm-hmm. And I polled, and it was exactly a 50-50 draw among our membership. We had about 27, 28 members. And I cast of course, the favorable vote for women in, and it was the best move we've ever made as a club.
So you were the tiebreaker.
And we did have the very first woman president in District 696, 596.
That's amazing. You know, Herb Brown, past Rotary International president, when he was president of Rotary International, he inducted the first women governors. And there were 8 women out of 530 districts that were going to oversee and manage their district that year. And the stories he tells are pretty remarkable about those 8 women and what they went on to do. And it would be, hopefully we'll get Herb on sometime or go down and tape him, because he's got some great stories, because he was the Rotary International president when the first group of women led their districts. So it was a really remarkable time. So going to an international conference is, I know for me, the first time I went, it was pretty overwhelming. I didn't really know what to expect. I'd never been to one before. It was in New Orleans. I was just a newly tagged district governor that was in line to be governor. So I was a nominee at that point. So I'd never even met the other folks in the zone. And so at that conference was the first time I met them. But the speakers and the entertainment, everything was such high quality that it was like something out of in my mind, it was something out of a movie. I mean, it was just so moving. I don't think that I went to a general session where I didn't need Kleenex. Let's put it that way. It was a pretty remarkable experience. And I know that for us in our district, because it is so close and it's in our zone, we really are looking forward to that. Not that some of us aren't looking forward to going to Seoul, Korea, but having it right here in our own backyard, more or less, a car drive away is pretty remarkable for us. And I know that you have some lofty goals of bringing your entire club with you, so I hope that that's what happens. I hope that's what happens for all. And hopefully we will have a hotel designated and more details coming out in late May, early June. So we'll have more. If you want more information, there is a website. It's a great website, answers lots of questions. www.rotaryconvention2017.org. And it's a website that kind of answers the question about registration. It's going to answer what does Atlanta have to offer outside the convention, which, of course, Atlanta is very eager to welcome 35,000 Rotarians into their community, as well as lots of videos both from the mayor, and I believe we have a video that welcomes all of us to Atlanta from Robert Hall, who is our current Rotary International Director. So we'll show you that video and we'll be right back.
Atlanta is a place where history lives among modern cityscapes, where people from all over the world come to do business and to play, where the South commingles with the rest of the planet. In June 2017, 30,000 business leaders will converge on the world's busiest airport, and Southern Rotarians from the beaches to the bluegrass will greet them in Atlanta. We're rolling out the scarlet carpet for a new milestone in Rotary history, and the best and biggest party in 100 years. Arch Klump announced the birth of the Rotary Foundation in Atlanta in 1917 Atlanta 2017 is a rebirth. We join hearts and hands to finish off polio and take on the challenges of the new century. We'll raise glasses, renew relationships, and make our home a destination they'll visit again. But before they disperse to the four corners, they'll want to experience NASA's Cape, Disney's World, Savannah's Charm, Charleston's waterfront, living history in Williamsburg and Washington, and beautiful Caribbean beaches. They'll dance to Nashville's rhythm and rush home at NASCAR speed to tell their home folks where they've been. If they're faithful to the four-way test, y'all can rest assured we're sure to see them again.
Four years ago, the 3 Rotary districts in Georgia decided to bid on the 2017 International Convention. This will be the 100th anniversary of the Rotary Foundation, which began in Atlanta, Georgia in 1917. Now, we in Georgia have committed financially to fund this, but we need your help. To make this the most successful convention ever, we need your attendance, we need your participation, we need your involvement. If you want to be informed, get involved, ask any question you want to, just go to our website.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental. Providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist. Believe me, Dr. B and his worker bees are the best. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Welcome back to My Rotary Show. I have the honor of having with me Hep Tang, who is the president of the Oldsmar Eastlake Rotary Club, and then Brian, who is a charter member, and then Maria, you head up the New Generation section, right?
Yes, I'm a newer member. I'm kind of getting through the rope of things. You know, as a young person, I was introduced to Rotary through my family. And for years, both my uncle and my cousin have been involved, and then it started out where they're part of the Tarpon Club, which is bigger, and then I chose a different route where a friend of ours, Teresa Conti, who is past president, basically recruited me and said, you know, if you go to Tarpon, it's bigger, you're just going to mix in, you already have family there, why don't you try something different? You know, it's a smaller group, which I think actually works really well, because I think you have to work harder in a smaller group, but I think we get a lot of things done, and he is very good about, like, always, you know, notifying us, calling us, you know, getting us to stay motivated. But yeah, I'm real excited. we have like the Armadillo Run coming up next week.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great.
You guys do a lot of service projects as well, which we're going to cover quite a few.
He probably knows a lot more about that than I. You know, I just try to show up and do whatever I can. But you know, it's a work in progress. But I think it's good because I think if you don't have these smaller clubs, then people feel lost in a lot of the bigger ones. Not that I wouldn't know a lot of people in some of the bigger clubs, but I feel that, you know, you get to know each other better. You get the work you do feels more meaningful at times because a lot of times you get lost in the shuffle when a club is, you know, has, you know, 100, 200 members and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, Brian, tell us a little bit about the history of the club, when it got started, why Oldsmar Eastlake?
It got started in 1986, but in 1984, I was a member of the Palm Harbor Rotary Club and had worked my way up to incoming president. And before that happened, the district governor came to visit the Palm Harbor Club and said, we need to form a club in Oldsmar. I said, oh, no. And all eyes turned to me, of course. And I had to leave the club, and I did charter in 86. And my Rotary Club sent me to Munich, Germany the following year.
Wow.
And we grew from there.
Now, you were actually the city attorney in Oldsmar, is that correct?
I was, and I had the golden opportunity of soliciting, for example, the city finance director, Marnie Burns, who she went on to become a president of our club. The city engineer, John Mulvihill, he joined us, and the city fire chief joined us. So we forged a public sector, private sector Rotary Club marriage and started the Oldsmar Armadillo Run, which is our major fundraiser. And we're now in our 34th annual.
Wow.
And
I think we have a couple pictures of that actual run that we can show folks that talks about, now let's talk about the Armadillo Run since you brought it up. You've been doing it for how many years?
We're in the 34th year.
Wow.
And we took the run over from a defunct other civic club.
Okay.
And so we kind of tacked on a couple of extra years from our actual age, but we've maintained the year by year. And we bring in between 600 to 800 runners each year.
That's great.
And the city spends probably about $5,000 in services, making it all happen, blocking off the roads, bringing in the sheriffs, bringing in the traffic directors. And we're very fortunate to have that marriage with the city, that joint venture. And it's been growing each year.
Cool. Now, if somebody's a runner and they want to actually participate in the run, how do they get registered? What do they need to do?
I'll throw that to Heap.
Yes, they can go to active.com and register there. They can pre-register right now. They can also register on site.
On site, so they could walk in that morning and do it.
Exactly.
And what time do you guys start in the morning?
We start at 7:30. It's rather early. That's when the runs start. Rotarian, they're usually there at 5.
Yep. Yeah.
To prep up everything. And we usually wrap everything up around 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
If not early.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the sheriff's department or the police department, they help you with traffic direction and things like that, right? I saw, again, some photographs where they were actually involved in that. And you have all ages. I saw young kids, probably 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, all the way up to some more experienced runners. I'm not a runner, but I saw some folks there that certainly have probably been running for a while. And so it's a good, and it's a 5K, is that correct?
No, it's a Armadillo Run. It's actually we offer 5K, 10K, and 15K run.
So all three of them.
Right.
So that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah. And it is a certified run.
It's a certified run.
Cool. Yeah, certified run, and it's on a premier course. Certified nationally.
Wow.
So yeah, so
And-
it's not just a local run.
So for a runner, that's a huge big deal. We have actually in the Tarpon Club, we have a transplant from my club that she's a marathon runner. She does triathlons as well, and I know that's a big deal to be certified. Now, have you always been a certified run?
Yeah.
Really?
And let me just add we also have a 1K run, a walk.
Fun run.
A fun run for the
right.
kids and
For the kids
those that might have a stroller or something that
Exactly.
Oh, that's good. So everybody can come, the whole family can participate.
That's exactly.
And then I think we also had some photographs of at the end of the run where you actually have some massage tables. That would certainly be something I would want to look for after running on that concrete. So you have some stuff happening after the run as well.
Yes, we have food tents, and we're providing some munchies. We got beers.
Okay.
And, we got
Donuts, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we partner
fruit,
with
I would
a lot
imagine.
of local businesses. They provide some massage, all other kind of things. It's
Wow.
really fun.
We're somewhat famous for our food tent. It's
You are.
very expansive. And
Oh, good.
Always gets a lot of praise.
And I'm sure every runner gets a shirt, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big deal. The runs I've been in, the shirt is a big deal.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you have some kind of a medals ceremony afterwards.
That's
Where
right.
you present the medals for all the different age groups and times and everything.
That's right, yeah.
And so, do you have any celebrities that participate with you? Any folks that, from one of the television stations that help you out? Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, but I know you have a lot of the city folks that are down there.
Yes.
The mayor and the city manager, those folks, I've been there a few years ago. I remember seeing those folks there as
The
well.
mayor has emceed before.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of, is the mayor. He used to be on radio, if I remember correctly. He had his own radio station. And he was on the air because I remember he and Dave McKay from WQYK chatting one day about that. So if you're a sponsor and you're interested in sponsoring, how do they get a hold of you? What do they need to do if they were interested in sponsoring?
They can go to armadillorun.org, and we have the form there.
Okay.
There's basically different levels of sponsorship. It's starting out with only $250.
So $250 could get them in and get them be part of the actual run to be a sponsor for
They
it.
would have 2 free runners that can register on there.
Oh, cool.
Their name would be on the run banners, of course, and then the name would be company name would be on the T-shirt also.
Okay. And do you do goodie bags that you give out to the runners? I know sometimes some of those runs do that type of thing. Do you do anything like that?
We used to do that, and this year we bypassing that this year, but we do have something to hand out.
Okay, cool. And what's the overall goal for the Armadillo Run? This is your major fundraiser, so do you have a fundraising goal that you'd like to achieve?
Yes, last year we brought in over $5,000 from sponsors.
That's awesome.
Like big sponsors like Home Depot, Publix, Nielsen Media Research. This year I think we already exceeding last year.
Good.
And
That's
we
awesome.
still have another week to go.
Right. Now your run is on March
12th.
March 12th.
Right.
So if a runner wanted to be in the run and they hadn't registered online, they'd want to be down there by 7 at
By
the
7
latest.
o'clock.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's awesome. We're going to take a little short break, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more about the Rotary Club of Oldsmar Eastlake.
Beltran Dental Surgery is dedicated to providing the highest quality dental surgery.
Teeth in a Day allows a patient to walk in with their old teeth, sleep under IV sedation, and walk out with a brand new smile. Unlike dentures, Teeth in a Day allows you to eat what you want and still feel like you have your own teeth.
From wisdom teeth removal to implants or creating a whole new smile, call now or visit our website to learn more about our procedure. Get a brand new smile today.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
Providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
Coming here, you're not just like an ordinary patient. You're actually like treated like a family member, and like you're treated like he actually gets to know you and makes you smile.
Welcome to New Tampa Pediatric Dental, and we are the Bees!
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex. Short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Welcome back to My Rotary Show. We were talking with the folks from Oldsmar Eastlake, and I wanted to make sure we got in when your club meets. You meet on Thursdays, correct?
Yes, Thursdays at 12:15.
You actually ring the bell, as we do in Rotary at 12:15. And you moved from the last time I've been to your club. You're now at
Flamestone American Grill.
Wow, and I've heard the food is fabulous there. So I would say if you're in the Oldsmar area on Thursdays, you need to stop by, check it out, because you are in for a treat. Not only a great Rotary Club to visit, but I know the food is great as well. So let's talk a little bit about the Red Cross Comfort Kit project that you guys did. You sent me some great photographs. Tell me a little bit how this got started.
Well, this got started when there was waves of disaster, natural disaster that hit the Southeast last year.
Right.
So being a member of the Red Cross, I just thought of, let's do something for these folks. So we get a couple of different Rotary clubs together. We're trying to find a way to do this where it has the most impact. And we thought about applying for a district grant. So that's what we did.
Cool.
So we got a couple of clubs together, applied for district grant, and we built 3,000 comfort kits and donated on to the Red Cross.
So what's in a comfort kit?
Typical comfort kit would have like a towel, toothbrush, toothpaste, all the necessity things that they normally give you in a regular high classroom hotels. Of course, the Red Cross don't put them in those kind of hotels. So,
right.
So that's what we provided. It's also used for like local house fire or sinkhole, any kind of disaster locally too.
Because the Red Cross is usually a first responder when there's that type of disaster, whether it's small or large. They're usually some of the first boots on the ground, as we say. So talk a little bit about who are the clubs that participated with you.
We team up with the Safety Harbor clubs, and like we are the lead club. We wrote the grant, and we went to the district and got the approval on that. Then we go out and we buy all the material. Then we got the community together. We put out, with the help of some city council persons, we put our ad, we call in volunteers. So we got volunteers from the community, volunteers from other Rotary clubs, Rotary from the Red Cross. We even got a judge that show up, a county judge that show up.
That's
a lot
awesome.
of teachers. Nice things about that too, when we designed this project, we thought about getting interact clubs involved, and they
sure.
show up from different interact clubs. So that's the goal. That was a huge success.
And I think we've got a couple photographs of you folks actually assembling the products, and then they were put in a clear plastic bag, and then it had the current theme logo from Rotary International,
Yes.
As well as kind of your club's logo as well on there, so that when folks opened that up, they knew that it came from Rotary, that Rotary provided that in partnership with the Red Cross.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I want to make sure that the receiving people would know that this is an effort between the Rotary clubs and the community. And we donated to the Red Cross, so they're giving it out, but we wanted to know that this is our effort.
Correct, correct. And then it's our little hug for them when they're having a disaster. And I think we have a little short video that we wanted to show you that talks a little bit about how it all got started and shows some of the judge and other folks that came in to actually do the packing. So if we can show that video now. Well, you guys had a lot of folks involved in this. I saw Seven Springs, teachers were involved in it, and the Newport Richey Rotary Club, as well as Safety Harbor, and you had some folks from the city there as well. So it was really a community effort to make this happen.
Yes.
Now, will you do it again next year, or what do you think?
If we have an opportunity, we'll do it again.
Yeah? Well, that's good.
We get the district involved again. One of the secret to this project success is getting the district involved.
Sure,
with the
getting
grant.
the district grant, yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your Adopt a Family program. Tell me a little bit about that. How did it get started? What you guys actually do?
Well, the Adopt a Family program, actually, we partnering with the Pinellas County Sheriff Department.
Okay.
They basically get the list from HIS. So we bypass the pre-qualification process.
Oh, that's
Then
good.
the sheriff themselves would go out to this family and interview the kids.
Oh, wow.
They
Okay.
come back with the wish list and they give it to us.
So typically, how many families do you adopt?
Last year we adopted 87 families.
Wow.
Yes, 67 families. Besides that, we also giving them like Thanksgiving food basket. We're giving them Christmas food basket.
That's a phenomenal amount of families for a small club to service. Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
And so when you take that wish list, do you all go out together, or do you kind of divide and conquer?
We basically divide them. They give us a choice. Like this, that's probably my favorite thing that we do. So this year I took like a family of 7,
Wow.
and which was, I didn't realize what a chore it was to actually get the children things that they want. It takes you like several hours. I want to say I was at Target for like 4 hours, because you have to sit there and then you have to figure out like everything. Do they have that thing? You know, what are you going to get the other? You want to even it out.
Sure.
So one kid doesn't get more than the other. And another thing is that I learned, because I don't have children myself, my sister tells me, Maria, you can't just get a little kid a gift card. I know they want something to open. So that takes time too, and then you wrap them. And then we even get people out of the club, like whether it's like my mom or people that aren't part of the club, to even help or take a family too, or like, so you try, I think each member, we try to at least take at least 2 to 3 families that we get people to either take or take ourselves, So it's a really fun thing, and it's really nice. And then you deliver all of the packages. You have to put them in bags and then put the family's name on them, and you deliver it at downtown Oldsmar. And then I think the sheriffs...
City Hall, yes.
Does the sheriffs deliver, right?
The sheriff and the fire department people deliver them on Christmas Eve.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
The beautiful part about that project too is we got the community involved. A lot of the local businesses, they sponsor these kids. We bring them out, give them a wish list, and they went shopping. We also got Interact kids involved, because they would go shopping, and we give them the community service hours.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. And you do even more work with kids. You have a Student of the Month program, which I know a lot of clubs do that, but your pictures were really cool that you sent me, and I think we've got one that I kind of picked, where these kids are proudly displaying their certificates and in front of your club banner. So how do you do that? How often do you do that?
Every year we hosted 9 Student of the Month.
Wow.
And this is not just the student, this is the parent, teachers, and students luncheon at our meeting place.
Okay. And then, and only because we're starting to run out of time, and then you have the comeback kids, and that is what?
We want to also recognize the kids that are not doing so well, but through good effort, they improve. So the comeback kids is an award for the most improved students.
Oh, wow. And again, we had a picture of some very proud folks displaying their certificates that you had given them. And then you have the Rising Star, which is also a youth program.
Yes. A Rising Star is the same concept, except it's for students with learning disabilities.
Oh, really? Oh, yes. Cool. So of all these programs, how do the teachers, are they the ones that nominate these kids? Or do you work with counselors? How do you identify these children?
The school actually nominated them, and they sent us the name. And we invite them over together with set of parents, up to 2 teachers, and we invite them over and have lunch with us.
Wow.
And we got recognized by the club.
Wow, that's awesome.
And that's every month.
And every month you do that. That's really phenomenal, because those are the leaders of our community. Those are the kids. The kids are going to be the future of our country, and really rewarding that, because some of these kids have some real challenges that they have to overcome that most of us can't even imagine.
The kids just shine, and to hear them thank us in their little speeches, it's just the cutest thing.
Yeah, and it's very heartwarming to see that.
It's very heartwarming.
And the just parents.
Little effort from the Rotary Club, bring big joys to them.
Yes.
And the parents too.
Yes. And then we talked a little bit about Purple Pinky Day, which is something that the district started as part of the public relations grant that we got from RI a couple of years ago. And That was all born because when we do an immunization day in a foreign country, the way the child is identified that they've received their immunization is their pinky is painted purple. And so that way the next phase that comes in knows that this child's already got their immunization. So you folks talked a little bit about that where you use the purple crocuses.
Yes, several years ago we started the program. It's a month-long program, and we placed these boxes of crocuses at local businesses and asking them to match the fund.
Wow.
So
And
whatever
then-
collected, they match it.
And then Bill and Melinda Gates match every dollar with $2. So
Exactly.
it turns into quite a bit of money. Well, I want to thank the three of you for coming in today. I know I've learned a lot about your club that I didn't know. And we're going to be right back after this break. We'll talk a little bit more and tell you a little bit about some of the things going on in the district.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
Providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
Coming here, you're not just like an ordinary patient. You're actually like treated like a family member, and like you're treated like he actually gets to know you and makes you smile.
Welcome to New Tampa Pediatric Dental, and we are the Bees!
Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Walk through life. Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let's take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day. And everything's going your way. And you wanna make it last forever. Keep it together, 'cause it keeps getting better. Whoa,
It's an extraordinary organization of men and women who've made an investment in our community.
It's professions and people's coming together, feeling friendship, and out of that, going out into the world doing good things.
There's just a feeling of being in a room with a lot of friends.
It's about how people communicate, people helping each other, how people grow together, and how will people serve together.
Rotary for me served as a way not only to get involved with other people outside my business and my family, but also serves as a way to be able to start to give back to the community.
A kind word, just a kind gesture, just like 10 minutes of your time really changed somebody's life.
Rotary and community, it's like peanut butter and jelly. You know, they just go together real nicely.
It gives you joy. It gives you satisfaction. Most of the good things you do comes back to you severalfold.
Rotary is able to reach the younger members and really continue to tell the story. And I think that's how we'll stay vibrant and valid for the next 20, 50, 100 years.
At the Armadillo Run.
So we're back from our break, and I'm going to ask the question I ask every Rotarian that comes on the show. I'm going to ask you why you joined Rotary. So, Maria, you go first.
Okay, well, I knew I was always at some point going to join Rotary once I became a professional and went back to law school and was working full time. So, as I mentioned earlier, my family was in it, has been in the same club, and I used to accompany my cousin when I worked with him. I would be like his Rotary date. So I would always be the guest that you'd announce. How many times the whole club knew me because I was coming as a guest, and then I had never officially joined one. So my uncle being in the Tarpon Club, one of my really good friends that I met in a leadership program suggested Oldsmar Eastlake. And prior to joining, I helped out at the Armadillo Run, and I liked it, and I liked the people. So I kind of found the one that I was going to join, and I did it. So that's...
So did you join because you wanted to network your business, or were you looking to give back to the community?
A little bit of both, but to be honest, I don't think it's so much a business networking thing because we do have a smaller club and we kind of know each other. So it's not that I expected that was going to grow my business. I think I'm more just in it for the service part, that I feel that, getting involved in something that makes a difference. So yeah, I mean, it's basically, that was my choice, and it's a younger club, and sometimes it's hard because you try to get people to join, but depending on where they work and where they live, you know what I mean, is where it falls. Like I have friends who are in a Dunedin club because that's closer to them, and things like that. So basically that was it. I think I've known of Rotary since a young child.
Oh yeah, your uncle's been very involved.
Right, and
he chartered our club, so he helped to charter our club.
And my cousin every week. So the thing is, it was just, and I wanted to go out on my own. I didn't need to be in the same club with the same family members. I kind of have my own thing there, and then I like that.
And you've been in this club for about a year?
Yeah, almost two.
Almost two?
Almost
two. So you're kind of on the cusps of when, normally someone says yes or no, like this is my thing or this is not my thing. Now, clearly from what you've just expressed, this is definitely your thing.
Right, and I the only thing I admit it, sometimes my own conflicts with work, it's hard, but I'm trying to change that. But what I do is, if that ever becomes into something about a regular weekly meeting, I try to make it up in other ways, like helping more with the adoptive family or helping in other ways to make that up.
And I think as a young professional, I think, as those folks, you come into our clubs, we know that. We know that life is a little different for a young professional versus some of those of us that have, been in the workforce a little longer, or some young folks who have children and families. Time can be a real constraint as to what, being able to make those weekly meetings. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are flexible in allowing, the participation in the projects to count as a makeup, because sometimes you just can't make that lunch meeting. There's just too much going on, or you've got to get prepared for a client. And I don't know about you, but these people are now my friends. I mean, they're the people I socialize with.
Right, that's how it started. And every year we have a big, we're Greek, so we have a huge holiday, and I always invite Sheep and other people, and they join. So we've met a lot of nice people, and I think the one good thing actually, because I've been to a lot of different Rotary lunches. I've been to Palm Harbor, I've been growing up. It is a great restaurant. Yeah. So we don't have the typical, a lot of Rotary lunches are, boilerplate. This is where you get a choice of 5 different things that are all really good. Right. So it's actually a lunch that I would do that lunch there whether I was at Rotary or not. So it's a really good place.
One of the jokes of one of my friends in Rotary who says, my wife is a vegetarian, so I had to join Rotary so I could eat beef once a week. So I always think that's funny. I go, well, why do you stay in Rotary? And he says, well, that's a little different answer now. But originally, it was so that he could eat meat once a week. But that was kind of an interesting reason to go to a club meeting. So how about you, Brian? Why did you, you were already in the Palm Harbor Club, but why did you join the Palm Harbor Club?
Well, I relocated with my family to Florida in '82 from downtown Detroit to downtown Oldsmar.
That's a big difference.
I was here for a couple years growing my practice because I didn't know anybody when I arrived. And 2 years into it, around 1984, a member of the Palm Harbor Club asked me if I would like to join the Rotary Club, and I didn't know anything about it, but I did join. I learned, and the sheer magnitude of Rotary's reach globally And the sheer efficiency of their charitable and sponsoring undertakings just captured me. And I've always been about giving back, and it was just love at first sight, really. We formed, of course, the Oldsmar Rotary Club, and the years have just flown by with just project after project of good things after good things. We have plaques throughout the city honoring things that we've done. In 1990, we approached the city, and they granted us about $1 million plus piece of land right on the top of Tampa Bay.
Wow.
And we Rotarians came up with a concept of having Robert Lathers from New York, a very famous playground architect, fly in here and do a community build.
Wow.
And this was beyond our capabilities. We were only about 27, 28, 30 members. But we then reached out to the rest of the community, to the church groups, to the business groups, to the city, and we had over 100 people doing just like an old barn community building project, and it took us about 4 days, but we built the entire thing. They flew in from New York. The architect came in, brought in his supervisor crew. All the materials were assembled at the job site, and the supervisors, the superintendents the architect brought, he took us group by group, and it just started rising out of the ground.
Wow, and I noticed you brought with you today a scrapbook of pictures, so an actual history of the club and the projects that you've done. Yeah. So obviously your passion is very strong for the work that's done in your community through Rotary.
Yeah.
And I don't see you going anywhere.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
No. And President Tang, how about you? Why did you join Rotary?
Well, I always want to get involved with the community. This is my 29 years with International Red Cross now, and my 6 years transferring to American Red Cross.
Wow.
And I'm working right in this area as a disaster action team lead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so a hand-on position working with them. So I always try to do something. And how I joined Rotary is all because of this guy. Yeah, some years ago, I got transferred to Florida, and I had some legal issues with the company that I was working for. Then I tried to find an attorney. The only one time, believe it or not, the only one day where I don't have meeting is on Thursday.
Oh, wow.
And I got over to his office because it's right across the street. And every Thursday, he's at Rotary. So I went back and I said, what is Rotary? I just want to find out a little bit more about it, and then, that's how I got started.
And how long have you been a member of this club? Quite a few years.
6 years.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
this
club is different than most that I visited. Like this club is small, but they always come together as a team. Yeah, you see,
the impact is huge that you do. The
exactly.
Impact is huge.
They're doing 13 projects every year.
Yeah.
Community projects, and every time we do something, it's not the individual Rotarian.
No,
it's one Oldsmar Eastlake team that come together. That's the beautiful things about this club.
Well, like I said earlier, I've certainly learned a lot about your club. I did not realize you had that wide of an impact and that depth of an impact in your community. So I congratulate you all on that. You've done an awesome job, and I would ask that you continue that hard work, because I know the folks in Oldsmar Eastlake obviously clearly depend on you for that. So thank you. I want to wish you good luck on the Armadillo Run. Unfortunately, I have another fundraiser, but I'll be thinking of you that morning.
Thank you.
A couple other things going on in the district. Crystal River has their beef feast up there. If you're interested in that, you want to go to rotarybeastfeet.com, and they'll be glad to get you in there. And I've heard that the food there is tremendous, so you want to make sure that you go over there. And also on Saturday, Tarpon Springs, Rotary is having their Forks, Corks, and Craft Brew Party for $20 right downtown at the Whitcomb Boulevard Bayou. So if you're interested in that, that is definitely something that you want to come to, and the 2016 Casino Royale, which is being done by the St. Pete West Club, and they've got everything you can possibly think of. That's going to be on March 19th. And then next week, we're going to have with us the folks from Homosassa Springs, and they have Shrimpapalooza. And I was to this event the very first year they did this. It's phenomenal. If seafood is your thing, you definitely want to tune in next week. As well as if golf is your thing, the Waterside Dunedin Club and the Safety Harbor Club is holding a great golf tournament on Saturday as well. So you could go golfing and then go up to Homosassa and eat some great food, and it would be just a full Rotary day for you. But again, I want to thank you guys for coming out. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll probably stop by some Thursday and surprise y'all and take part in some of that great food. And I hope that I see all of you back here next week when we talk a little bit about Shrimpapalooza. Until then, this is Jamie Mick with My Rotary Show. Take care.